So I am Josh Strommen, and come from Galveston, born and raised there. Brought to Central Texas because of the military. Served for 6 years and then got out of the military and stayed right here and had the opportunity to work here at Premier. And so I took that opportunity, and here I still am, gladly. I had always enjoyed science growing up. That was sort of the first thing that I knew that I enjoyed. And then I guess a strange twist to that is growing up hunting and fishing. I was always asking my dad what the different organs were as we were field dressing animals, and always interested in the anatomy. So that's probably a little out there, but
Wow.
it was an interest that I had. And when I was in college, I got my EMT basic license, and I worked for Galveston EMS. I had the opportunity to see some really gnarly, cool stuff. I was always very admirable of the paramedics and quite intimidated of all the things that they actually had to know that I didn't know yet. But I knew that I wanted to be there one day. And so I just kept on studying, kept on focusing on what I wanted to do. And I was fortunate and blessed enough to land in medical school one day. And here I am. Well, I think, one of the biggest hurdles is medical school. And I think if I would, with complete respect to medical school, would have realized it was just another hurdle, something that you have to do and clear to get to where you want to be. Most of the information that we learned in those 4 years was either going to change or not be relevant to emergency medicine. It might have made me breathe a sigh of relief at that time a little easier. Had someone told me, hey, one day when you're working as an emergency medicine physician, you're going to have to deal with a lot of information coming at one time. Maybe I would have also breathed another sigh of relief that medical school was perfect practice for that. I think the number one would have to be is my bone broken or fractured, because they mean one and the same thing. If you have a fractured or broken bone, they are both fractured and broken. That might be option number two.
Okay.
But so I would say if there's no major deformity, if your finger is not perpendicular to itself, or your arm not perpendicular to itself, if you have normal range of motion of that joint or around that area, it would be safe to stay at home, to put ice on it and see what it does. However, if you notice abnormal swelling, abnormal bruising, if you notice that your range of motion of that joint, whether it be your arm or your knee or your finger or your wrist, is severely limited, that would be the perfect reason to come in and get an x-ray. The last day that I worked, we had 7 fractures from falling on the ice. And probably the same amount of x-rays where there were no fracture, but there were significant sprains or contusions or bruises. So I'm going to cheat at this question, and I'm going to say that that I don't have a favorite tool of the trade. Probably like a chess player doesn't have a favorite move during chess. That it depends on the situation. I think that I just this morning, going to sound a little strange, I got to clean out a clogged ear that was full of earwax, and that was amazing and neat and cool. So something as simple as that, to providing somebody with electricity to their chest, to fixing up a laceration, to resetting a broken bone, I love all those things. All those things make me extremely satisfied about the job that I get to do. For myself, probably cough medicine. Cough medicine has been notorious for not having significant, reproducible, great results in its effectiveness for curing the cough. I tend to tell patients and tend to treat myself that if this time around the cough medicine helps, then take it. Pediatricians recommend against cough medicine for younger children, and there's great reason for that. There has been a trend that cough medicine isn't always helpful, but sometimes it makes us feel better, and I think we can all agree that the placebo effect is a real thing, and treating our mind and doing things that we think will be helpful for us helps our bodies and helps our minds in ways that maybe the actual tincture or the actual medicine doesn't. I think the other important thing is our bodies are amazing machines. Most of the things that we do and see, even here in the ER, our bodies heal themselves quite well. It's only when we need those certain tools of the trade that we are most effective. But I think it's important to realize that we're amazing machines that has the ability to heal itself. And so I think that's important to get comfortable with. I think I'd probably be a teacher. I do like to sit and talk. I like to read. I like to write. I think I'd probably be some sort of professor of science, medicine, maybe even consider doing bench work in a lab. I think there is great significance in those who dedicate their lives to behind the scenes medicine, creating medicines, tools, techniques. The people that were in a lab creating the coronavirus vaccine, for instance, they may not interact with patients so much, but their work was phenomenally important to the well-being of our people and our country and our world. And so that would be an amazing opportunity and job. And, being here at Premier is a great opportunity to sort of partake in that talking and discussing, getting to know people and interacting a little bit more with them than maybe perhaps a bigger, much busier, much more industrial ER. We'll go with Dr. Smith since he's our medical director. I'm not really good with numbers or keeping track, but I might have squatted at 400 pounds or so. He definitely looks better. I might be stronger, but he looks better. I'm happy to talk about COVID. I just got done telling you that I love to have good conversation with patients. And, the hard thing is there's not a ton of answers. COVID unfolding in the perception or in the reality of the American eye is similar to a science experiment unfolding. And that's not always sexy, fun, great, interesting. And to watch COVID unfold in front of in front of the world, there's going to be some mistakes and there's going to be some things that we get right. And unfortunately, because of that nature, there's not always a lot of hard answers. And I truly think everyone is doing the best they can in a very difficult situation, learning as we go. And when you have to watch that, it's not like we're treating heart disease or high blood pressure, something that we've learned about over decades. We're watching this unfold in the last year, and so that's hard because there are going to be those lessons learned. And so, but yes, I'm always happy to talk about it. It's just whether or not my answers are going to be the same or relevant in 5 days or 10 days. I am a Vanguard mutual fund index fund kind of guy. I don't even claim to be amazing at my job, much less amazing at something I don't do every day. So I trust the professionals in index and mutual funds. So I would go with that answer.